Hello, welcome to the lecture series of discrete Fourier transform and fast Fourier transform. This is the lecture sequence of properties of DFT. And what properties we have already learned in last lectures, that was properties of DFT: periodicity, linearity, circular symmetry, which was not in Z, and circular convolution. Today we are going to cover the rest of the properties, that is time reversal of a sequence, correlation of the property of DFT, and Parseval's theorem. These three properties we are going to cover today, and by concluding these three properties, I think DFT will be over in this lecture series. So before starting this time reversal sequence and correlation and all these three properties, in last lecture we considered one numerical, that was we discussed about the graphical method of solving any two sequences in circular shift. So to performing this circular convolution, graphically we have represented these two problems x1n and x2n with these values, and then we performed it and got the answer. This x3n is 14, 16, the 4-point sequence, 1-to-1 sequence. Now one more method before discussing the time reversal property, let us see one more method, shortcut method. So many authors explain circular convolution in so many types of solving method. So we have considered already in last sessions graphical method and the theoretically with product of two DFT sequences, that method. So what I thought that let us discuss the matrix method also. So just before going to time reversal, in brief we'll see the matrices method. Okay, so same problem we'll do, this same problem we'll do with the matrices method. Okay, the sequence x1n can be arranged in a column vector, and the x2n, the second sequence, will have this as in the whatever the n is given. So we'll take another sequence with n into n matrix array. So this will be the array. So we have considered this x1n and x2n, and the x3n is the resultant convolution of circular convolution of x1n and x2n. So its length will be, we know that would be n, because we are taking this n point of DFT. Now how to draw a matrix? I'll just display the matrix multiply matrix in a way that will take this x1 and x2. You know what we did in our problem? We take x1 as it is and shift it circularly x to n. So same we are taking here, shifting x to n and taking x1n as a column vector as usual. So this would be the column vector x10, x11, x12, x12, then x13. This is the x1 value, and here we'll take the values which we are shifting by unit value, unit sequence. So what was the first step? this was the sequence given, and we just x2 is first folded sequence. First we get the folded sequence, then shifting by 1 unit, then shifting by another 2 unit, we shifting by another thing. So how to write these values in matrix array? So x2 0, column wise I am writing here, x2 1, x2 2 and x2 3. First value I have written here. Okay. Second shifting, x2 0, x2 1, x2 2 and x2 3. Circular shift. Okay. The third value shifted again to one value here. So x2 0, then x2 1, x2 2, then x2 3. The fourth column will take here the x2 0, x2 1, x2 2, then x2 3. I think it is clear. Yeah. And multiplication of these two will give us the x3 value. That is x3 0, this value. x3 0, x3 1, x3 2 and x3 3. Okay. So we have taken this n equal to 4 here. So in the last problem we had n equal to 4. So I have just given the example of n equal to 4. This is the value. Now with the previous example, this was the value given. x1n is 2 1 2 1 and x2n will be 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, and its answer we know that 14 16. So we'll write here. Now I just substitute this value in this matrix. Then how we get this? See, can I change this number? We are taking this because x2 is shifting, so we are taking here x2 0, that is 1, x2 1, that is 2, x2 2, that is 3, x2 3, that is 4. So I am just substituting the values column wise. So now we have this 4 1 2 and 3, then 3 4 1 2 and 2 3 4 and 1. A 1 1 1 1 1 shifting of this. Okay, and x1 we know 2 1 2 1. This is the n equal to 4 we are calculating for. Multiplying these two matrix, then the result will be x3 n directly. So multiplying with this, I just write the answers 14 16 14 16. We take this and we get this, and sum of these values. So 2 8 then 6 then 4. So 2 plus 8 plus 6 plus 4, so 14. So these are the values. This was the answer. We know that this was the answer. This we have discussed earlier. Okay, so this is the one of the method. So answer is x3n is equal to 14, 16, 14, 16. Actually, this was not discussed earlier, so I have just included this part in this lecture series. Okay. Now let's have the linear filtering, which is very common question to be asked when we are dealing with the frequency domain. Then what about if we have linear filtering? Linear filtering means any system which has xn input, impulse response hn, and the system response yn, and then yn will give the response of a linear convolution of xn and hn. So these are very common problem that is it possible to circularly convolve x and h although they don't have equal sequence length? Is it possible? In circular convolution, the equation says, the definition of circular shift and circular convolution says that the length of the resultant sequence is very important just to avoid the overlapping. So if we are using different length input sequences x and h, which is usually used in linear filtering, linear systems or linear convolution, will it be equivalent to circular shift, circular convolution? No. Let us see how we manage it. Usually we have unknown inputs, or sometimes the processing is unknown. So we'll have to design the system in the way that it should operate in a very smooth values. Okay. So in circular convolution, definition says that product of two DFT sequences is equal to the circular convolution in time domain. Okay, so it means then x1k product of two sequences x1k, x2k will be equal to the x1n circular convolution of, this is the definition. Okay, but for linear filtering, there is no use of this circular convolution. Although circular convolution for DFT is a very, very important property. And what I'm giving statement that if we are considering the linear filtering case, at that time, if we are not managing the sequence length, then the circular convolution in linear filtering has no use, just because the circular convolution has only one pitfall, that is to manage the overlapping of the sequences while we are circularly shifting the periodic sequence. If overlapping is there, then what is the cause of error? Aliasing problem will be there. So circular shift overlapping is results in aliasing problem. So what we are doing here in linear filtering, we know that, let we consider that x1n and x2n has same length, both are n point sequence, then x3n will be equal to x1n linear convolution to x2n, so its length will be 2n minus 1. This is the condition of linear convolution. Now what is the length? Length is 2n minus 1. Will it be okay with circular? No. Although circular convolution is time domain. So this 2n minus 1 creates overlapping. And what circular convolution says? This x1k, x2k will have x3k where we have the n minus 1 samples. So this x3n equation, what should be the value of x3n with this value? What we are processing, actually we are going we are processing linear convolution and testing it for circular convolution. So x3n says if we get its IDFT, that would be I just write the limit for understanding the x1k, x2k, e to the power j 2 pi k to n minus 1. This will be limit. Okay. So this samples to n minus 1 will create overlapping or aliasing problem. So what we do, how we manage this linear versus circular convolution, especially when linear filtering is one kind of system and we are processing in frequency domain and using circular convolution. So this is very important question to be asked when we discuss about circular convolution in any of the syllabus curriculum, and usually in undergraduate students, this linear versus circular convolution is a common question to be asked for. So in general, to convolve two sequences of unequal length, what we have discussed here, both are endpoint sequence and we have considered equal length of two sequences. So there will be 2n minus 1 which is not acceptable. So no use of the circular convolution with this value. Now in general, to convolve two sequences in circular convolution with unequal length. So let that x1n has length n1 and x2n with n2. So its convolution length n1 plus n2 minus 1. This is required. Okay. So we consider the case of by definition of circular convolution. So product of two DFT sequences. This is the length. What should be? It should be the length. The n should be greater than or equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1 in frequency domain. Just to avoid the overlapping. Is that possible? No. Actually, to achieve the length with n1 plus n2 minus 1, this factor should be manipulated, n2 minus 1. So n2 minus 1 to be manipulated. For that, what we do for unequal length, we take adding 0 value the sequences such that x1n n1 plus n2 minus 1. Just to get this is the add 0. Similarly, in x2n, that would be n2 plus n1 minus 1n. Here add 0 to this sequence. Then this method is called zero padding method, and this is also known as some overlap add. It means this limit is giving overlapping, but overlapping will be adjusted or manipulated with 0. The amount of that sequence, number of that sequence will be this. Or by putting these values, it does not make any difference in the information of the sequence of a system response. So what we do? By changing this value, therefore x1n and x2n both duration less than n. So simply pad 0 to increase length to n. This is the requirement, in such a way that n should be n1 plus n2 minus 1 point DFT, which can be manageable for avoiding aliasing problem, and overlapping will be manageable. So for that, this DFT is usable for linear filtering. What is linear filtering? You know what is linear? Linear filtering we are calling about. I mean, it means system should belong either FIR or IIR. You know what FIR says? FIR can be realized by the convolution sum of the sequences, where IIR can be realized by its transfer function. This is the definition, because there is no feedback. So no feedback is FIR filter, and FIR filter can be solved or realized by linear convolution, and linear convolution means we are doing linear filtering. So we are doing linear filtering, and linear filtering means we are dealing with the length of x1 and x2 of unequal length, or x1 length different and h is the different length. So convolution of this yn equation says that it should have the length of n, which is equal to n1 plus n2 minus 1. This is the target. So the yk, as we are taking the product of two sequences, so yk, because this is the output response, and n1 is the sequence length of xn, and n2 is the sequence length of this hn. So what would be the yn length? Yn length will be n, which is this one. So yk is xk into hk for k equal to 0, 1 to n minus 1 by the definition. So we are getting this by zero padding method. DFT is used to perform linear filtering in frequency domain. Other than this, there are so many methods for using this. So let us discuss about the example 1 and 2 for equal length and unequal length. So I am taking here example 1, which is unequal length of both the sequences, but both the sequences are starting with origin. I mean x0, h0. And second example we'll consider for both the sequences starting with one of the sequences not starting with x0 or h0, whatever it may be. I mean it may be started with -1, -2, whatever it may be. Then that kind of sequences, how we'll manage for circular shift, because we are considering the equation of circular shift from 0 to the next sequences, whatever n -1 samples. So let us see the example. This is the linear filtering. So find circular convolution of given sequence, where we have x1n equal to 1, 2, 2, 1 and hn is equal to 1, 2 and 3. This is n1 equal to 4 and this n2 is equal to 3. Now what we do? We have discussed that we do this n2 minus 1 zeros, add n2 minus 1 zeros to x1, add zeros of this sequence to this and this minus to that. So this minus 1 to this and this minus 1 to that. Then what sequence becomes? So n2 minus 1, it means 3 minus 1 0. Add to this. And 4 minus 1 0. Add to this. So what would be the yn? So yn should be of length n1 plus n2 minus 1. That would be 4 plus 3 minus 1. It means 6. This is our target. Manage yn with 6 n equal to length of 6 n point. Then we'll see that there will be no overlapping and we can manage it anyhow to avoid the aliasing problems. So you know the method, you can solve it. Let us solve this problem by circular values. So I just draw it. The 6 values I am drawing for here in a graphical method. Then you can solve as it is, as in the earlier session we have solved all the graphical methods. So that would be same. I just discuss here. I take this x, what we have, x1, not x1. It is xn, simple. So we'll take x0, then manage it, x0, then 6 part of the circle. Divide equally distributed sample of this circle. So we'll take x1, then x2, then x3, then x4 and x5. So this is our xn. And similarly we'll draw h0, h1, h2. If you remember, we have discussed it. We are plotting initially anti-clockwise and this will be the hn, h4, then h5. And sequence will become xn 1, 2, 2, 1, 0. How many zeros? 3 minus 1, 2 0. should be 6. And what hn becomes? 4 minus 1 0 add to hn. So the equation becomes sequence becomes 1 2 3, then add 3 0. Now this is our problem and this is the sequence. This is our problem and this would be the sequence. So you can solve it. Now again we'll take its folder sequence. So obviously what we did earlier, h of minus n. So it was anti-clockwise. Then put these values clockwise to get the folder sequence. And proceed for the shifting minus 1 unit shifting, second unit shifting, and then we'll take it. I just draw h0, then h1, h2, h3, h4 and h5. This would be the anti-clockwise, and multiply this and we'll get the answer. So I just write the answer that yn will be now 1, 4, 9, 11, 8 and 3 should be 6 and should be 6. So this is the answer and where origin. In both the cases, in this example 1, both the cases we have starting point x0 and h0. Now one more example, then we'll conclude the circular convolution. That another example when we take this starting point is different. So let us take the another example. Where xn is minus 1, 1, 2, minus 2. In short, I'll tell you where we have this n1 is 4 and hn whose value is 0.5, then 1, then minus 1, then 2 and 0.75. Here n2 is 5. Now the difference is the origin is here, but in hn the origin is here. Then how to plot this? How to manage it? By definition we know that its yn will be in linear convolution. The yn will be xn of linear convolution of xn and hn, whose length will be definitely starting with y of minus 1. The answer will be, because when we linearly convolve it, so the resultant sequence will give us the result that it is not starting with y minus 1, it will start with y minus 1 and so on. This is the definition. Okay, we know that linear convolution will give the result like this. It means that yn will be definitely have y of minus 1, y of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. See what we are going to do here. What should be the sequence length? Length should be n1 plus n2 minus 1. n1 plus n2 minus 1. This should be the length. So 4 plus 4, that would be 8. So this is 8 point DFT. Okay. So for this, what is our how to manage these sequences? Because we know by the circular convolution definition that we take the limit with n equal to 0 to n minus 1. And here one sequence is not starting with n0, so it is starting with minus 1. in this case, we know that from 0 to the whole response sequence will be from 0 to its full length will be till y6. So we will add 0 from this to manage y0 and y6 value. We'll add 0 from this to this. If the length exceed, we'll add in earlier position, I mean the previous position. So the problem will be solved. Listen carefully what we are doing here just to get the circular convolution. Zero padding. I am just giving you how to add these zeros. Then you can solve all the problem as it is with the DFT. So we are doing here that we know that yn is xn hn, and here it is n1, here it is n2. So add 0 n1 minus 1 here, and either n2 minus 1 0. So the equation becomes, see how equation is changing here. I am writing xn will add 5 minus 1, 4 zeros to this, because xn is starting with 0. So there is no manipulation with the position. We add zeros after the sequence. So that would be minus 1, 1, 2, minus 2. How many zeros? Add 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this will be the sequence. And now watch carefully. Here we are adding, obviously it is giving this origin, it should be from origin to last length 6 values. So okay, that would be, we'll have this value 1 minus 1, 2. How many zeros to be added? It is okay, the sequence become okay. So this is n1 minus 1 0. And what will be the answer? We'll be having this. Sorry, the length here we are changing. This 0 is 0 to 6. We'll have to manage the position of 0 from y0 to y6. So we will not put 0 here. We'll put it before this origin value. So there will be no change in the length, but we have managed it that our response will be starting from minus 1 to 6. So from origin, the length should be from origin. For the circular convolution condition, the length from the origin should be from y0 to y6. Now it is from 0 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And instead of placing at 7, we'll place it at minus 1. And 0 is the management of the overlapping. So that does not make any difference with the circular shift when we are taking this periodic sequence in a circular shift for circular convolution. So whether 0 is here or it is the before the sequence, it does not make any difference. So, but we'll take this position of 0 instead of here due to this y6 putting before this. Now the sequence becomes like this. So I can plot this x0 anti-clockwise. So I'll put x of minus 1 earlier. Then it is n equal to 8. Okay. So I'll take this. Okay. x0, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. Sequence should be closed. Then x of minus 1. This is the circular shift of xn. This is the placement of xn sequence on circle. Now you can solve it. I can give you the answer. What is its answer? After solving these two sequences, now you can plot it. Here we have, this is the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is managed. Yes. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is managed, and we put 0 before the sequence. When I repeat it, when we have two sequences, especially when one sequence or any one of the sequence is not starting from the origin, it is starting from the -1, then what would be the output response? The output response should be managed with the length of n equal to 8. That is fine. Nothing is changed. n1 plus n2 minus 1. Only the placement of the 0. How to add it? The condition for circular convolution is from 0 to, it will be the maximum length of y6. So we'll have this value 0 put before the origin value. So this is the origin value which is avoided. And this is n.8 sequence DFT. Now we can solve it by circular convolution. Plot xn in this way. The -1 I have just drawn it. I have drawn it just to see that how to plot this x -1, and we'll plot these values hn, and we'll get the answer. I just write here yn. Yn will not start with y0. So that answer will be -0.5 again, then 3, then 2, -2, then -2, then -2.75, then 6.75, then -2.75, then -2.5, and 8th -1.5. I think I'm not changing the page. So this is okay. This is minus value. This is the answer. See, it is n8. This is the result of circular convolution by using the linear filtering, where we have one of the sequence not starting with origin. So this was the linear convolution versus circular convolution. I think exceeding our time. If you have any problem while learning these steps, so please comment on YouTube channel and subscribe that. I'll answer it, and even I can make some solutions of your queries in the form of short duration videos also. So take care. In next session, because time is exceeding, so in next session we consider time reversal property and correlation and Parseval's theorem. Thank you. Take care.